conversation.
I am.
This is a hot topic these days.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested in diving in here.
According to one of our guests, he's been doing it for like 28 years.
We got to hear more about that.
Maybe it's not that new, but it sure seems to be. Real quick, Carl, just give us your name, who you're with, and what you do.
My name is Carl Bradshaw. I'm with Trimble, and I'm the director for product management and
Reality Capture Group.
Okay.
Arno?
And hello, I'm Arnaud Lezenec. I'm from France. I've been with Trimble today for 28 years, and I've been doing scanning for 28 years.
28 years scanning.
It doesn't look old, does it?
What scanner were you using 28 years ago?
So the scanner was called a Swazik scanner. It was started in 1992 in France. It was first developed to make scanning to nuclear facility. You know, those very dangerous area. You can't stay too long. So we developed that scanner in 1992, and I started in 1997. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's first define what reality capture
Yes.
is.
Thank you.
Let's do that. Because you hear reality capture all the time, but what is it exactly?
No, something I like to say, because we did a meeting, so like, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yep.
And reality capture is worth 1,000 pictures, basically. Can we tell a story for you really collect the environment, the shape and point cloud, and from this you can really go anywhere you want, basically. Kind of my definition.
Yeah. Yes. Would you like to add to that?
Yeah.
That works for you as well.
You can say the opposite.
Yeah. So talk about the evolution of reality capture then. I mean, you're talking about scanning 28 years ago, but when did reality capture become a thing?
Yeah, I think people have got into scanning 2010, really, the evolution of the tripod scanner back in 2010, 2011, people wanting point clouds. And then it's kind of grown from there. They don't just want a point cloud nowadays. People want the reality and they want to capture it. So it's not just about point clouds, it's images as well. It's all that context that people want. And that can stem from anything being a picture to a full-blown 3D reconstruction. So it encompasses many different formats. And if you walk around this exhibition today, many people have probably got a different opinion of what reality capture is. But fundamentally, you're walking in it and it's building up 3D models of environment you're in, whether you're inside a building, outside down the street. Yeah, it's providing that context to the surveyor, to the building construction professional in terms of you're not just getting that one point. So it's all geo-referenced, all there, and nowadays in the palm of your hand into the devices.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things. You mentioned it being geo-referenced. I think that's a huge component.
Well,
of
you would
reality
say
capture.
that because you're a surveyor.
Would you agree, Arno?
No. What I mean by that is, we in the past, surveyors were afraid of 3D scanner because you don't need to level and people were scared, what is that? I can't really plug that. The evolution meant that the scanner are adopted by surveyors more like the toolbox now. But still, it's also, we discover every day like new application where scanning, reality capture can have a big impact. People sometimes don't know what they don't know. And we do lots of like exhibition for utilities or other events. And people discover that reality capture could be very useful for them and change the way they actually work today. And that's why it's very interesting. We see broad spectrum actually. But surveyors for sure, yes, your friends is very important. Yeah.
See,
Okay. All right. He fixed it. All right.
I'm from Trimble. I have no choice.
There it is.
Maybe not. So the democratization of reality capture, what is meant by that statement?
It's giving the accessibility to many different people. So you may have heard in the keynote this morning around kind of connect, and what we're doing with that, it's making this the data accessible to more people. So instead of it being just that surveyor or the engineer who's got a PhD and has studied for years and years and years, nothing wrong with that. We've all been there, but it's giving the other people in the industry who want to connect and dial into that data access to it. So again, that could be anything from the technician going out on site and wanting to know where he needs to set his in America layout in terms of his points, things like that. It could be different facets of the same organization who want to take on different applications with that data set, collect one, choose many scenarios. So it's giving access to people who need to have the data. They're not necessarily engineers, they're not necessarily surveyors, but they want access to that data. And again, we're all in this digital world that we live in. We're all on our phones. There's an amount of survey engineering data that goes into all those applications that we use on a day-to-day basis. Just that.
Anything to add there?
Yeah, he's right. Of course. But also, I think like there's also like I saw from the evolution like the trust. Now people trust with the capture. When I started, people every time you do a measurement, they take a tape to check the size of the window. No one trusted what it was. And democratization is also because manufacturers will make the solution easier to use too. So the adoption is easy. When we launched the X7, I was blown away to be able to reach the scan with doing nothing. But at the same time, I love to say to surveyors that you do like if you they do like the organic measurement, like high quality measurement, because it's not because you can use a device that you're good at it. You always have to respect the fundamentals and also always not forget what the end result is. I think also key for that.
So like the limitations of it,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, because we're talking about that, like, you can collect scan data with your phone,
Exactly.
right? Or you can have a really high end, piece of hardware. Is there a space for all those or different technologies to like come together?
I think so, because I think really when I'm in sales and I always talk, I think the important point for us is always to know what is the expected end result and then go backwards. I went sometimes to a nuclear facility and people want something, and then you come with the full arsenal. We talk about device and everything, drones, you name it. But then if you really listen to them and know what is the final expectation, then you can pick the right solution, the right workflow and so on. So there is room. It depends. Sometimes inspect a small area, a big surface and so on. I think the main thing is to listen to the needs and then
Clarify expectations
Exactly.
and then figure out the best way to get there is what I'm hearing. Yeah.
right.
Is the metaverse still a thing, or was that
Why
like
do you
a
keep
flash
asking
in the pan?
people about? I think that's done.
Because it's like, reality capture, digital twins, metaverse. What happened to the metaverse?
Well, I think that we were talking about all those things at the same time, like 5 years ago, and some things don't really last. And reality capture is one of those things that was just continuing to evolve. That's my take. And so on that topic, where do everyone scans now? So we're here. What's the next evolution in the reality capture world?
I think it's very much the cloud and being able to share that data. So again, from your point, everyone's scanning. Everyone's wanting to collect the data, but it's how they want to ingest that data.
I still can't see a point cloud, or I still can't.
Exactly. And to a certain extent, people don't want the point cloud.
Right.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
But they need the accuracy and the performance that you get from a point cloud. But that's part of the process to get to that end deliverable. So people don't have input or georeference image or whatever it may be, but they need that context behind it in order to provide the accuracies that they need. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the geo-referenced image. It's like you start with that picture and then a whole bunch of fancy stuff happens and then you come back to that same picture, but it's geo-referenced and accurate and has that same level, right?
Yeah. Well, some people will argue that we're living in a simulation. So maybe this whole thing is just a point cloud.
Oh, we don't have time for that on this. That's a whole sidetrack.
So what role is AI playing in reality capture?
It's a growing role. I think it's helping us to get to that deliverable quicker.
Okay.
And reduce the time to that final deliverable for our customers and the industry at large. People want there's more and more projects out there in terms of applications, and people want to get to that end result quicker. They want to be able to deliver the field data to the finish as quickly as possible, because that's when they want to get their paycheck, go on to the next job. The quicker you can do it, to the levels of accuracy. So it's providing, I'd say it's the next step. So we've come from with the point cloud we talked about earlier, and it's going into that next generation. How can we then get to those deliverables quicker? But more importantly, with the correct accuracy performance. So we're going away from that kind of black box. People have to trust into what Anna was saying earlier. You've got to be able to understand that clicking on the button, the accuracies are getting expected.
And actually, because I started a long time ago, it's really changing our life, AI, because the most critical aspect of scanning before was to do segmentation, classification. it was taking ages to,
Yeah.
scanner road try to eliminate all those bad points. It was taking ages. It was never perfect. Today, by the click of a button, you train the AI to recognize the shape. And that's it. It's really changed your life. The time saving is phenomenal, really, really phenomenal.
Well, I have to ask, kind of flipping on that, what you're saying, if we're still in that black box model where people don't necessarily truly trust it, do you think that the AI component of making it easier to, classify and produce a usable image, do you think that is hindering that trust? Because are we just making a bigger black box?
It comes back to education. To what Anna was saying earlier about people in the scanning world and surveyors not wanting to kind of get on board with scanning back in the early days. They didn't understand the principles and the concepts behind it. There's still people nowadays who want a 2D topographical survey drawing as a deliverable.
Right.
As on an AOA one sheet, what we were doing 20, 25, 30 years ago. That's still prevalent in the industry. But we've got to move on from the projects that we're doing. So again, it's a similar base where we're learning, we're educating with the deep learning models, and we're building on those. They're not all perfect. None of the things that we all do, we had the keynote this morning regards kind of the rip things out and start things again. That's just the nature of life. But we're learning and educating these models and these applications and growing and moving those forward. And it's only going to improve. It's only going to improve as the components and the technology evolve over time. We're seeing it now. Again, looking back 20 years ago, we had mobile phones. What we could do then, what you couldn't do then, that you can do now.
Yeah. So what is Trimble doing to ensure this, seamless integration from, the capture in the field to the designers?
So from our point of view, we're looking at the whole field to finish concept in terms of that ecosystem and getting all the data in there using our technology. It's not limited to our technology. We understand that from a hardware point of view, people have choices in the market, but it's making sure that we can ingest that data and provide the deliverables as quickly and as accurately as possible. Our core values are very much built around accuracy and precision. That will never go away. That will always be the case. So from our point of view, it's making sure that we can bring that data in, ingest it, and then provide the deliverables that the customer wants. They're evolving as well. Some still want that 2D paper drawing, but others want more and more deliverables. So it's building on top of that as we move forward, as we learn, as we listen to the customers. There's such an event here. We'll go back home, build on those, and go again, and then do that again, and do that again. So yeah, keep educating.
Keep educating people. I like that. So what about the future? What do you guys see in 5 years from now when it comes to reality capture? What's it going to look like?
I'll be retired.
No, you won't.
Yeah, somebody else's problem.
Do you want to go or should I go? Now you're retired. Okay.
He's retired.
I think we're on an upward trajectory in terms of the technology and people wanting to get to that delivery quicker, reducing. Again, from a scanning point of view, generally speaking, in reality capture, we've reduced the time on site to shorter times than it used to be as a traditional surveyor walking around the top stations and so on and so forth. And that's had its trade. Time in the office has obviously gone up, so we've switched it.
Right.
That time in the office now is kind of where that's the bottleneck. Exactly. Yeah, that's the bottleneck. And how do we reduce that? How do we shrink that time down so that, again, still getting the accuracy, still getting the positions and so on and so forth, but getting to those deliverables as quickly as possible. So I think that's where the kind of where we are in 5 years' time questions will change, but go on.
And also, I will not be retired, but I think we can also say that from what I see attending all those exhibitions, we start to touch people we didn't touch in the past. Like new application, new markets. When you look, if you step back, look outside, and then you can really target new people. And when we talk to people, it's really kind of obvious.
Yeah.
And I think in 5 years' time, we'll be even more democratized, not just for I cannot say not just for surveyors, but for many different type of professionals. Really, my feeling is what we see when we talk with those customers.
Yeah.
More and more.
Yeah.
And to that point, Arno, I was going to ask, you mentioned the use case of the nuclear plant.
Yeah.
Like that seems like an obvious one, very highly technical, and space and safety and all that. Do you have another use case where an industry has used reality capture that is maybe we didn't think it would be there?
I think the best example I can use is my first project because it's still valid today. No, I told you we developed the scanners to scan into nuclear facility, and then the goal was to do some texture mapping. So people, when they have to intervene once every 6 months, they could recognize the environment. And then what we did, like a few months after, we went to a cave called Cosquer Cave in France. It's below the sea, so you can't access to it, you can't see it. And the goal was to scan it, to texture map it, do like a virtual construction, but for heritage purpose, not for nuclear purpose. So it was really the opposite spectrum from nuclear facility to a prehistorical cave, basically. That's why I think it can be very, very broad.
Yeah, that's almost like very advanced technology to no technology. I mean, we're
Exactly.
talking about just something that's been there before any of us were even a thought, and then having that's pretty interesting.
Definitely. Really good conversation. Is there something that we haven't mentioned that you want to get out there, Carl?
I think from our point of view, it's just the evolution of that technology. More and more people using the systems, and to Arno's point, kind of, we like to see the different use cases. Again, from a mobile mapping point of view, you traditionally think driving down a highway.
Right.
That's it. No, you'll see in here today, okay, we've got on a NASCAR truck, but we've also got on a little side-by-side. So again, you can take these systems off-road, you can connect these systems together in terms of reality capture. There's different sensors and different solutions. And it's, there's many more applications for these types of this type of technology than we know about today. So for me, it's try it. If you haven't taken up reality scanning or reality capture in terms of devices, get into it, enjoy it, embrace it.
Embrace it. It's so important. Arno, you got the final word.
Oh, really? Okay,
Before you
good.
retire. Before you retire.
You wanna do it in French?
Oui.
No, really, I really see like the adoption, and like if you never saw a point cloud, please have a look. You will never forget that first feeling. For me, I never forgot the first time I saw a point cloud. You face a castle and suddenly you can see the castle in the palm of your hand. You can rotate it and then go from there. But it's really, it's amazing.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Great to meet you.
Absolutely.
Likewise. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure.